Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's episode of Daily Dose of Good News. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you guys could join us for this 12/12. It is December the 12th. I'm so excited about today's show. Dr. Robert Greene was part of our big day on Wednesday, October the 29th, when we broke the Guinness World Record for most TV interviews in 12 hours. I've known Dr. Greene for years. I met him thanks to his wife, who is an author, V.L. Greene, but also because of my work in Yazoo City, Mississippi, being a part of the WYAD 94.1 FM family there in Yazoo City, where Dr. Greene lives. We've been able to stay connected as well. You hear part of his passion for sharing and uplifting others in this conversation. Hope you guys are inspired by Dr. Robert Greene. We're back with our next conversation. Dr. Rob Greene, again, is someone because of my work in Yazoo City, I've gotten to know. And thank you so much again. I really appreciate you taking out some time to be here with us. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with this question, because one thing I've learned about you over the years is how much you love encouraging others. But my question for you is, why are you so committed to encouraging the upcoming generations?
It's all we have left, you know, on the one hand. The other hand is that this coming generation, there's a break. When I was growing up, there were things called rites of passage. And there were certain things that were expected of you, certain things that were not. And there's been a breach in that. And to where we find younger kids that are involved in things that older kids are involved in. And so to kind of back up and say, you know, there's a way to live and to give back to the community. You know, I worked in the community knocking on doors when I was like 16 years old. Couldn't vote, but was knocking on doors to get people to vote. You know, and so we have to encourage our younger generation to be prepared to take our place. We're not going to be here forever.
Yeah. That leads us to this question then, Dr. Greene. What has inspired your love of home and community? And especially community for you. I've noticed that over the years I've gotten to see you. What has inspired that love?
Potential, in a word. When I look at the communities around Yazoo, Jackson, is that there's a great deal of potential. Part of the problem is our disconnect from it and from each other. I grew up in Chicago in my earlier years, and some of the buildings, we didn't know the person across the hall. And then on certain blocks, we knew everybody on the block. Yeah. And there was that sense of community. And once that sense of community is there, then there's a sense of caring. You know, I once asked actually the governor, I said, what do your children see when they walk out of the door? He was confused, but I kind of broke it down to him. I said, what they see is opportunity around. So when a child in certain areas look out, what do they see? Maybe not so much opportunity, but when you build community and they know who's there, they can see the opportunity that's there as well.
Yeah. Such a great point. You have seen a lot in your life to that point. So my question to you is a question I have not asked already. Of course, I couldn't because it would be against the rules. And that is, what gives you hope about the future?
The resilience of the people. This country has always been a bounce back, no matter what happens. Some of it not so positive or good, but most of the time it's positive. Look at Katrina, for instance, and how we bounced back after that. It was a devastating time in life and destroyed a lot of lives and things. And what happened is that as people transitioned and tried to work their way through it, people came out of their own yards and out of their own pain and hurt and loss and started helping other people. If you had less than I had, so I see that, that I see that as looking forward, that as we come together as community, and be more concerned about my neighbor than I am, as I am myself.
Yeah, I love that. Love that answer. And people can tell if they're just not finding out about you, Dr. Greene, your compassion you have, but also one thing we share in common is our positivity. So I want to ask you, is it easy to admit your positive role in the lives of others? One thing that it was hard, like pulling teeth on Saturday when speaking to Miss Owens over there. I was trying to get her to give herself some credit. She was like, "Oh no, not me, not me." Joe Thomas is the one with history. I'm not making fun of just saying that. So are you at a point where you can say, yes, I've been able to make a positive impact on the lives of others?
I can say that. I haven't done as much as I'd like to do.
Okay.
But looking back over my life and my travels and things, and there are people that claim that they were inspired by me that are still engaged in things. As a matter of fact, when my wife passed, I had two of the ladies that was in church with us down in Panama. And they said, thank you very much for this ministry that I have, that you started this thing in us and now I can't get rid of it. It's a love. But she was just saying that she was still doing the ministry that we was inspired to do. And this is with women in prison and things of that nature. And so I can see where some people say that they were affected by my life and the things that I like doing. But nah, I don't like to get a lot of credit for it.
Gotcha. Well,
I really don't.
And that's fair. That's fair. That's not Mississippi in you, I think. Yeah. That's what that is. So do you see yourself as a teacher by nature? And I guess what I mean by this question, Dr. Green, was it inevitable that you would be a teacher of some sort? I
almost want to be tongue in cheek with this, but I'll stay focused.
Okay.
But I love teaching and given an opportunity anywhere. I don't need a formal setting, a classroom or a pulpit. I will do it anywhere on the streets. I love talking to people. I think that life and the wisdom that you gain through living, and especially if your life has been interesting, and I think mine has,
right?
You learn things along the way. Sometimes you learn through trial and error. Sometimes you learn they're good lessons, and sometimes you learn through some bad things that you look at and you say, had I done this a little differently, but now I'm empowered to tell someone else, because wisdom comes in two ways: through experience of self-experience and then experience of others, if you're willing to listen.
Love that. So this last question, your bonus question, is one I want all of our audience and those watching at home to ask themselves, because I ask myself this question too. What is one lesson that has changed your life?
I thought about that. I think about that and say, forgiveness. Forgiving others, and having been forgiven myself for things that I've done, and not be too serious about yourself as well. But I had opportunity in my life to do some things, and wasn't going to jail or anything like that. Not that, that's just not my story. But I had someone to stand in the gap for me and laid a path. And I remember coming back to them later and said, you know what, I'm going to do something with this opportunity that you gave me. And that's been my goal ever since then, is to make them proud of what I do in life.
Again, everyone, Dr. Rob Green has been our guest. Let's give him a hand, everybody. Such an inspiring conversation, a great way to wrap up this week. Two things Dr. Green mentioned in that conversation. I have to be honest with you all and say, for all of these interviews you all are watching here at Daily Dose of Good News, I have not gone back and watched them. So I'm seeing this for the second time, or maybe for the first time, with all of you. But Dr. Green said two things about the importance of seeing opportunity, but also the importance of forgiveness. I think both of those are great reminders for us as we think about our lives. And hopefully you'll take that with you as you go throughout the day and into the weekend. Thank you all so much again for being with us for today's episode of Daily Dose of Good News. We'll be back with you guys on Monday. Also, if you missed any of our past conversations, don't worry. You can go to the website you see down below. That's our YouTube playlist at dailydoseofgoodnews.com. That's dailydoseofgoodnews.com. Until next time, you all make it a great one. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.